Hi everyone and welcome to Game Week 16 transfer plans. In this video, I'm going to show you my squad and the problematic players that I think need to leave my team. I'm also going to show you the two transfer strategies I've got for this game week, both very aggressive, utilizing both my transfers, trying to capitalize on the gorgeous fixtures. And lastly, I'm going to show you a couple of players who I think we need to buy and sell. Now, if this sounds good to you, do me a favor, drop a like and subscribe. Let's get straight into it. It's game week 16 and I've finally started to look at my squad and smile. It's taken a long time. I've had to be aggressive with a couple of minors, forced to try and fix this team, and it's finally getting there. Now, I'm not sitting here saying to you it's perfect, not at all. As you can see on the screen, I've highlighted some problematic players for the upcoming couple of game weeks. Let's start with Lewis. He got a goal against Crystal Palace. I was smiling, then got a red card, which is frustrating. Not just for the minors, it's more for this upcoming game week where I needed him to start, and now he's going to miss that game. Next up is Gabriel, one of the best centre-backs to own in FPL, but recently he's missed 2 games. We don't even have an explanation. I can't afford for him to be on the bench for that price. And lastly is Greaves. Yes, I know he's only 4 million, but the reality is I needed him this game week and he was nowhere to be seen. He's actually fully fit, but the manager doesn't like to put centre-backs on the bench. Now, that's a big problem for me. So as you can see, my defense is pretty thin for game week 16. Potentially, I might just have Timber and Hall. So one of my priorities is to fix that defense. The midfield looks really nice. I'm pretty happy with it. So even the player I've highlighted is not a huge problem. There's a reason for me to consider removing him, and you're going to see in the transfer options coming up. And that's the same for Raul Jimenez. He scored a stunning goal against Arsenal with his one shot. It's very cheap, can afford to bench him when it's difficult fixtures and play him when it's easy fixtures. But part of my transfer strategy, he could be upgraded to something that was a bit more juicier than Raul Jimenez. The goalkeepers could potentially be highlighted, but that's such a luxury move. Very rare you change them unless they're injured or you're on a wild card. So I've got 2 transfer strategies for this upcoming game week. I'd be intrigued to see what you think. Let's look at option 1. First and foremost, I'm thinking Lewis and Mbeumo out for Trent and Enzo in. Now, let me give you a bit more information regarding this. First of all, Mbeumo, I just said a minute ago, it's not an urgent move. This is a strategic move to free up some money so I can improve that defense and bring in a superstar like Trent. Lewis is a problem. Man City don't look like keeping clean sheets. Yes, he just scored this game week, but he's going to miss the next game week. And then City, as I said, they don't look like keeping clean sheets. And bringing someone like Trent in is a monster upgrade. I mean, he's had 2 games and 2 assists, and in those games, he's hardly played any minutes. He's rested this week because of the cancellation of the Liverpool game, which is only good news for us. Mbeumo to Enzo, as I said, it's a bit of a money play, but also we are getting a player here, Enzo, who recently has been on fire. He's finally starting to look like the player Chelsea paid £100 million for. Popping up with vital goals and assists, and definitely someone that we need to start considering. Mbeumo and Enzo both feature later on in my video, giving you detailed breakdown of why I think they're a sell or a buy. So this is option 1. Get in the comments and let me know what you think of this. Good move. Does it improve my team more importantly? Let's have a look at option 2. Now again, the bottom part of it is the same. Mbeumo gone for Enzo again to free up money. But the difference here is I've improved the attack. I've gone Raul Jimenez to Jackson. Now this taps into the Chelsea attacks. I'd be triple up with Enzo, Jackson and Palmer. Yes, losing Raul Jimenez isn't ideal, I know. He's got good fixtures coming up after Liverpool, but still, this surely is an upgrade. And I spoke about Mbeumo earlier on, a bit of a cash cow, but you're also getting Enzo, who's looking real good at the moment. So this is option 2. Get in the comments and let me know if you prefer option 1 or option 2. Let's have a look at some of these transfers in a bit more detail. Let's start with Bryan Mbeumo. Now, I spoke about him possibly leaving my team, and looking at his statistics, you're thinking, why would I do that? I mean, in his last fixture against Newcastle, he delivered a goal and an assist. It was an actual haul. And his price point, 7.6 million, is nice. Returning 6.4 points per match is excellent as well. But have a look at the fixtures. The fixtures is the first thing I want to discuss. Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, Brighton, Arsenal, Southampton, Man City. Fixtures look horrible. Definitely a player who I think I could go against when I look at those fixtures. Now, also, when we look at the last 6 game weeks, the last game week, no problem. He delivered. He really did. A 13-point haul was impressive. Really was helpful for my game week, honestly. A lot of people were lucky and got him off the bench as well. But look at from game week 14 to game week 10. In those 5 game weeks, he's had 1 return. But more alarming is he's had 4 games where he's not had a shot. He's had an XG of 0.00. That's disgraceful. And one of the game weeks, he had 1 shot, and it wasn't even a great shot. He had an XG of 0.09. Now, he's been playing really wide, and against Newcastle, he actually played wing back. Now, this is not something we want from one of our main attackers in midfield. So this is the reason he's up for discussion from leaving my team. I am still undecided because he's a player I don't mind keeping in my team. It's not an urgent, it's not an easy sell, nowhere near, far from it. But when we look at the pros and cons for Mbeumo, it starts making a bit more sense. So let's look at the pros first of all. The minutes are unbelievable. He's played 1,345, practically 90 minutes every game. So that's a big tick. The second one is a penalty taker. You know us FPL managers, we love penalty takers. So that's another big tick. But apart from that, it's cons. Now, the first one I'm going to say is the bad fixtures. I spoke about them earlier on, but just have another little look. It's not great, is it? Playing the informed teams, very tricky fixtures. The second con is his XG's dropped off completely. I know the last game masks it, paves over the cracks, I should say. But the reality is, before then, the 5 game weeks before then were poor. Hardly any shots or entering the area. The next con I can think of is Brentford's home and away Jekyll and Hyde performances. At home, they're very strong. In fact, they're breaking records for the amount of goals being scored at a home stadium. But away, they're hideous. So it's very, very strange and not great for our FPL asset that is not going to be playing at home every week, especially when you add the good, easier home fixtures have gone. Now some of the trickier home fixtures are coming up. And lastly, I touched on it earlier on, he's been playing pretty wide or a wing back at times, which isn't ideal for a player we assume plays in a front three, hopefully getting touches and shots off in the box. So when you put all of this together, plus the fixtures, plus the potential to free up some money, for me, this is a strategic move and not a move out of desperation. If you want to keep him, you can 100% keep him. But for me, I'm going to say sell. Get in the comments and let me know if you agree. The next player we're going to discuss is Luis Díaz. The reason for that is some of you have been DMing me asking whether he's a viable attacking option in his Liverpool team. Now, I think this is going to be a quick one because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not too confident with Luis Díaz, and if you own him, you need to listen to this. 7.5 million for someone that's only played 787 minutes. I can tell you for now, there's loads of other players who are much cheaper, delivering more minutes and more attacking returns. Have a look at his last 6 game weeks. I mean, game week 15, we know was cancelled to bad weather, so the Merseyside derby will be rescheduled in the future. But game week 14 to game week 10, he's had 1 attacking return. Nowhere near good enough for a player that costs 7.5 million. But more alarming is, look at the minutes. 23 minutes, 90, 28, 90, 24. So he's clearly rotating with Gakpo, which again, is a big red flag. It's also more alarming that Jota's back to fitness soon, which means he'll be fighting for Nunes for the number 9 position, which is worse for Díaz because Díaz at times was going up front when he was moving off the left. So that option's not going to be there. The more you look at it, the more he becomes a horrible asset to own. Yes, the fixtures are not bad. Look up there. Fulham, Tottenham, Leicester, West Ham, and so on. Decent fixtures, and Liverpool are strong this season, but still not looking good for Luis Díaz. And then expected points don't really fill me with confidence. Game week 18 looks pretty good at 4.41. That's the Leicester fixture. Apart from that, nothing special. I mean, taking everything into consideration, if you own him, I think it's an easy sell. And definitely do not go and buy him. Not for now. Reminder, we have midweek fixtures. So before you start pressing your buttons, raise transfer in, bringing players in, getting all excited, wait. Arsenal, Villa, Man City, Liverpool, Spurs, Man United, Chelsea all play this midweek. Players could get injured and change your strategy completely. Also, hopefully we get more information. For example, Arsenal play, you never know. Arteta might give us good news regarding Gabriel. So important information is about to come out through these midweek fixtures. Take your time, chill. Don't make your moves yet. Next up is Enzo Fernández. Now, this guy has been a bit of a revelation lately. At first, we all thought Chelsea got conned with that £100 million signing fee, but now it's starting to look like that player that fully warrants that fee. Recently, he's been playing in a position where he's getting to attack, and we're going to discuss a bit more about that later on. But for now, have a look at that price point. 4.9 million, only 3.9% owned, and returning 3.7 points per match. Might not seem great, but when you look at his last 6 game weeks, you'll be impressed. Now the fixtures, just glance at them. Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth. Gorgeous fixtures. Honestly, this transfer, the more I think about it, is making me smile and starting to look like an easy transfer. But let's see, let's dig a little bit more deeper before we get too excited. Predicted points don't look nothing special. I don't think the models have caught up with 2 things. First of all, the position he's been taking up, and also his minutes have been going up. So I do think they should be a little bit higher. That's not a problem. Nothing to alarm you. I know most of them are under 4. Don't worry about that. Another thing we need to discuss is the emergence of Chelsea as title challengers. This helps us when we own Chelsea attacking players. Their attacking numbers recently have gone through the roof, and I've got some statistics here to show you. Let's start with the first one. Chelsea have scored 61 goals in 23 games in all competitions so far this season. That's already 7 more goals than they managed in their 50-game campaign in the 22-23 season. Chelsea are currently averaging 2.6 goals per game, which is the highest in the club's history. And think back of Chelsea's teams they've had, some of the attacking talent they've had on the pitch. This team is currently #1 in attacking numbers. And lastly, Chelsea are leading the way in goal scoring numbers in the Premier League. They currently have 35. Also showing the way in shot conversions ratio among the main title contenders. Chelsea have put their hand up as being one of the best attacks in the Premier League. This only helps us when we're looking at players like Enzo Fernández, Jackson, Palmer. We can't have enough of them in our team. So you can see why I'm getting excited over Fernández at that cheap price with those fixtures and the Chelsea's attacking prowess. Let's have a look at where he's been picking up the ball and having shots off recently. So in the last couple of games, he's been playing a bit more aggressive than he normally does. Because at times you'll find Enzo in a double pivot, like he did in the second half of the Tottenham game when Maresca had to make changes. The irony is, that's where he actually scored his goal, when he dropped a bit further deeper. But when they have the inverted player coming in, he's given permission to go further forward and support the attack, normally taking up the left-hand side number 10 position, which is very good for a 4.9 million asset. Unreal. And look at the shots he's taking. Not crazy XG shots from far away. It's either at the edge or in the box. This is good quality shots. And for someone with his quality, this is really good for us. This is one of the main reasons I've started to take notice. Because before, when he was in a double pivot, all his job was to tackle, protect the back four, not much else, pick up yellow cards basically. Where now he's getting licensed to go and attack. And even if we're being realistic, sometimes he'll have to drop in a double pivot and be a bit more defensive. Are you really that upset with a £4.9 million player doing that, taking some attacking set pieces as well? Trust me, the more you look into it, the more he's becoming a gorgeous, gorgeous asset. The more I think about Enzo Fernández, the price point, the fixtures, and trying to capitalize on Chelsea's incredible attacking numbers, Enzo Fernández is becoming, for me, an easy buy. Get in the comments and let me know if you agree or disagree. And the last player we're going to discuss today is Mykolenko, and I think this is going to be another easy one for us here. The reason he's come up is a lot of us have had him recently, and he's done us really well. For a 4.3 million asset, he's done his job. I mean, just look at the last 6 fixtures. He's had an 11-pointer, a 6-pointer, and a 6-pointer. We cannot ask for more. Hopefully you got to play him in those fixtures. But even though he's only 4.3 million, and yes, you could keep him on your third bench if your team's that good, he's not an urgent transfer. But for someone like me and others who would depend and need him to play this game week and upcoming game weeks, when you look at the fixtures, I don't think you'll get a worse set of fixtures. Everton, better be prepared for the next 6. I mean, look at them. Arsenal, Chelsea, City, Forest, Bournemouth, Villa. Now, I totally get it that if you've got other urgent transfers to make, definitely do them and don't worry about him. This is not an urgent one. But if you are looking to improve your defense, improve your bench, you can do much better than Mykolenko. There are many other options that should hopefully give you superior returns than this guy is about to give you from the next 5. Have a look at his predicted points, and that tells you everything. There's not even, game week 19 is predicted 2.81. That's about the best you're going to get. And even then, I'm skeptical in that, if I'm honest with you. I don't think he'll get that against Forest. Forest have been ruthless this season. You saw what they done to Manchester United just this game week. For me, this is an easy sell. Get in the comments and let me know if you disagree. I will be astonished if you say no, you should keep him. I hope you enjoyed the video, but more importantly, I hope you found the video useful. Do me a favor, get in the comments and let me know who you're bringing in this game week. Before you jump off to the next video, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. If you haven't had a chance to watch the video on the screen right now, please check it out. You're gonna love it. I speak with Planning FPL James, who loves football, loves FPL, has incredible insight, and is having a cracking FPL season and gives you some insight into his strategies. Definitely check it out.